Small. There we go. Hello, folks. Welcome to Earworms. Tonight there's probably going to be a few technical issues here and there because now, after over a year, we are using StreamYard again. And it's been over a year since they really raised their prices, and I, been using EVMux in the meantime. Yeah, it never was quite right. And then they had a Black Friday sale at StreamYard, so it actually became like just a little bit less than EVMux. So I'm back on it. So anyway, I'm not used to it, but as you know, I'm usually doing things wrong anyway. But anyway, here we are with StreamYard, and I see that Archer Collin is here, and I'm going to introduce him if I can hear him. Let's see. Oh, that's right. It's not like EVMux. You can hear people talk to you before they're on the, on the screen in EVMux, but not true in StreamYard. That's one of those things. Here we go. Still only counts as one, Archer.
That's correct. It's a very lonely green room on StreamYards.
Yes, and I forgot about that. I'm used to hearing you and everything when you come on.
I know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's going on with my email, but I do only check my email once or twice a day. Hadn't seen anything, so I went back in when Eliza told me we were on StreamYard. Saw the email, and then we're done. And then I've got 3 days worth of emails which I hadn't seen.
Oh man!
Which was your notification telling me we're doing StreamYard.
Oh man! I hope there wasn't like a bill in that.
No. It's a weird thing. It's just a very strange thing happens with my. I'm not sure what it is with my email, but.
Well, Liza's doing the chat comments, so she's remembered how to do it in StreamYard. That's great. Before this, I'm not sure if she was coming on or not, because she is not using her computer tonight that she normally uses. But let's see. We could play her intro because she is going to be managing the chat and everything.
Spirit, if not in person.
Well, yeah, she is kind of person, just maybe not vocal. We'll find out. Maybe she is going to come on here. Let me see here. Let me make sure I get the right one. All right. So, Liza, did you want to come on? You could speak through the built-in mic real quick and just tell me if you wanted to be on mic or not.
Are we getting feedback?
No.
Okay. Your mic is distorting a little, though.
Oh. Okay. How about now?
Sounds good. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Flav had a question that
very good.
Before we move on. He's asking, can we donate via, I'm guessing StreamYard, Lawrence, no fees for...
StreamYard directly?
I'm guessing it's possible.
Isn't that Streamlabs that has that?
I don't know. That is a good question, Flav. We will look into it.
We will look into if StreamYard has that possibility. I think it's Streamlabs that does that.
Yeah, Flav says, I think I confused it with Streamlabs. Yeah. My bad.
Oh, StreamYard is what Brown uses. It's what most people use. We were on our lonesome for a while. Well, B-Sides went EVMux for a bit. Now they're Restream. But, yeah, the deal was right, so I went back to him, even though I'm kind of pissed off at the way they raised things a while ago. But anyway, so you're on a built-in mic on the computer, and it sounds pretty good. Yeah, because she's having to use one of my laptops right now because she is her computer.
I've been hacked.
Well,
Oh
it
my
wasn't
God.
a personal hacking. It was just one of those things they put out there, some malware that is giving her trouble. And
It's called a rootkit malware. It goes down to the base operating system level. You can't even bypass it by running your computer on safe mode. It's that deep. And so I'm troubleshooting it. Yeah.
Jeez.
do we have Istophobos in the chat? Because he's
Do we?
actually supposed to be here. I did send him the link on X, and I thought he saw it. It's in the Earworms group. And I sent him a personal email. I mean, not personal email, DM. I'll just DM again here. Here's the link. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, the chat feature is different now because the way they've changed chats from messages in X, it's a bit weird. Like whenever you post a StreamYard link now, it's like just a link. You don't see the big old banner.
I can't even actually get chat to work on this PC, which means I can't use DM links because I can't get the link. And I can't see myself echoed a bit now, which is weird.
Liza, do you have the echo cancellation on?
I do.
I hear a little bit of bleed through of Archer from the built-in speaker there. So
Yeah, I'm gonna mute the mic when I'm not using it, but just to let you know, we got swappers in the chat and robots.
Swappers, Flav, robot, and right now, not to be outdone.
One rabbit suit coming right up. Look. Jesus Christ! I warned you.
We do also have this gentleman.
Hello guys. You know what, man? That is the best intro I could have ever possibly. It's just perfect. I love it. I love it.
How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I had a good weekend with family, lots of food. I'm
very nice.
Did were we gonna have more people on? I thought a couple other weren't they gonna come and actually
Well, Mike is in Ohio. Our friend Mike Gorley is visiting family in Ohio, so he was away this whole weekend. I guess Jill wasn't able to make it tonight or something. It's just there in the group, for anyone that wants to join us. It's in our Earworms group.
Yeah, I thought Hoppers was going to come on because they're people that know Doctor Who a lot more than I do.
Well, Swappers, he likes to work on his Star Wars retold stuff Sunday nights while listening to us. But Swappers, you're welcome to come. The link's there. And yes, Flav, I believe you're on X also, but reach out to me on X so you can get in the group too. You're a channel member. You deserve the access to our inner workings. You can find me on X. The username is @thewayfarerproj. It's the Wayfarer Project without the ECT at the end because it doesn't fit in the username.
Yeah.
But there you go. All right.
Also,
so
you can also hit me up. I'm @Istophobos. It's really easy because it's all the same.
You're the same individual everywhere.
Yep.
That's good. All right.
Yeah.
So
Nobody wanted it.
so let's it is across the bear. Let's go over to our slides. Things are located differently, but I think I can handle it. Sometimes it just may take a bit. Some things will actually be a little bit quicker.
Clearly someone's been sent back in time to make changes to the future. This is what's happened here now.
Changes to the future.
Yes, we would have been on EV Mux, except someone's gone back in time, made changes to the future, made changes to the timeline.
Yeah.
Rather
Well,
than-
remember, we were having
rather than
problems
stopping
with
the
EV Mux. Yeah, we were having problems with EV Mux, and now actually I just got to get used to it again, but there we go. We got the slides up, ready to go. They're in the nice standard def there. I got
Software says that you're distorting a bit, Mister.
still.
I hear it too. I hear it too.
Yeah, definitely. I do as well.
All right. Well, let me try. How about that? Is that better? Meow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, better. Absolutely. Speaking. Test 1, 2, 3.
You like my Dalek? It matches my scarf.
Oh, I was about to say, why have you got why have you got a diverse Dalek on there?
It's a Gaelic.
Speaks Irish. All right. Well, here we go. What is that? A blue box. Beautiful. And of course, I think probably of all the doctors, it's got Tom Baker has to be up there, at least close to the top. For me, I think he was the top because I grew up with him. And I don't know, there's something very special about the way he performed the Doctor that
top TARDIS team, this one.
Yeah. Still very close to the original, if not the original. They changed it during his era, which was kind of okay, but it got a little less. It got a little bit more poppy a bit at the end.
Yeah.
But in any case, it is beautiful stuff. Beautiful logo and everything. Beautiful vortex. And in this, I have some of the credits here at the beginning. Genesis of the Daleks. It's in 6 parts. I have all 6 parts made. We're going to make a decision around finishing part 3 to feel like if we have enough time that we can finish it by the end. If not, it'll be a 2-parter and we'll finish it next week.
Let me go and get another gallon of very strong coffee then.
Well, we'll decide if it looks like, all right, we're about at the hour and a half, hour 45 mark. We'll probably just hang out a little bit and close it at 2 hours. We'll see.
Now, I do want to say something that reinforces what you said. So I didn't grow up with Tom Baker. I grew up with Patrick Troughton and Pertwee. But my favorite Doctor is also Tom Baker because I just think he was perfect. And so a lot of people, their first Doctor, their original Doctor, that's the one they love. But no, Baker won me over. They had some of the best plot lines, some of the best stories. I just thought his acting, his character, his temperament, is absolutely perfect. So he won me over, even though he was not the Doctor that I grew up with.
Well, the whole team came together in a special way. At that time, there was incidental music was being composed by Dudley Simpson, and I really love his sound, like with the synthesizers and chamber music mixed. I mean, there's times where you hear vibraphone and it's luscious, and there's plenty of bass clarinet. There's all sorts of different combinations of instruments, and it works well with the synth mixed in too, as well as the sound effects. But I think that was a different person, if I'm correct, Jack Mills, but we'll see. We'll see the name at the ending credits. But right now, here's an important credit. Terry Nation wrote this episode, and he's also the creator of the Daleks as as characters or as a character type. And so it's appropriate that their origin story is written by him. And
Brune has a good point there, but unfortunately it's a little bit too late. Should have got Probby on for these.
I did invite him. I didn't get a response. But no, that's not an insult to Probby at all. He's probably very busy. He's always responded to emails in the past. But this week I emailed him around Tuesday, and I hadn't heard back. But the only email I have for him is this Aldred audio visual email. So
Oh, well,
maybe
yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
I don't have like his personal email.
I hadn't thought about it. I hadn't thought about it. I also have to point out that there's this particular episode has a scene that regularly comes out as probably the top of almost any list of Doctor Who scenes.
Okay. Well, how about we wait till that scene comes?
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
So this what
This is a great episode overall. It's in 6 parts. Each one is about a half hour long, that kind of time slot. And I have all 6 made, but we're gonna see what happens around part 3. We might do it in 2 parts overall. We'll see what happens. So let's get into this. Here we go. This is how we open. This is the beautiful planet of Skaro, folks. That's the planet where we have 2, shall we say, I guess they're not 2 different races. Well, 2 different peoples, 2 different civilizations, the Kaleds and the Thals. Yep.
Sorry, didn't mean to step.
And they're in a perpetual war, basically. And you'll see a lot of kind of like mixture of old and modern gear, because it's been a war of attrition for a long time. And so you see there's a weapon, 2 different types of weapons being used there, and, from different time periods. Oh my goodness. Yes, gas masks. And we'll see later part of it is set up is anti-radiation gear or a radiation detector. But anyway, there's a real war going on. So that one has an AK-47. What a lucky one. And he just got hit. So
That guy's got a Star Wars blaster.
Really?
That's a blaster. That's a Sterling, which is what the Star Wars blaster was based on.
All right. Well, I was saying AK-47 like. I don't know my... Yeah,
probably British weapons, but yeah, well, anything.
Machine gun.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's the surroundings. War going on, and there's our doctor in the fog, and he's like looking around, and you get the idea that he doesn't know where he's at, because he doesn't know at first, and then suddenly appears this gentleman. These Time Lords, they are a wily bunch. Yeah. They appear here and there. They yank you around, and we'll see that the doctor, really wants them to leave him alone. But I guess from some previous dealings, or at least several episodes back, maybe several seasons back, they came to an agreement about something, because the doctor stole his TARDIS and had been adventuring for, 3 different generations there. On his own, and the Time Lords really could say, all right, they could force him back, but they're letting him be free in exchange for favors, and so he's reminding him of that. And he says the favor we're looking for, and the way he gets the doctor to listen to him was by mentioning the Daleks, 1 word, and all of a sudden the doctor's interested, because they are not only his nemesis, but a great, grave threat to the universe. And so they chat about that a bit, and saying that from time to time, we're going to need your help on some things. We brought you here, in fact. The doctor's like, okay, I'll handle this thing with the Daleks, but how do I get there? And he's like, you're already here. You yanked me out of time and put me here. Yep. So, and go ahead.
This might be a good point to mention that we don't have writers that are good enough to write good, convincing time travel stories anymore. And this guy was one of the best ones. It's more than science fiction. You kind of have to be a really good writer to pull it off. And, that's why I think modern day time travel multiverse bullshit is just so inherently unsatisfying.
Yeah, and you can't remember what parallel universe you're in half the time. Ugh. Well, I'm going to go into stealth mode there. So basically the Doctor's mission is to go back to the origin of the Daleks. Actually, he's already there in time and space. And his job is to take care of that in some way. He has like 3 options. I think the first option is to eliminate them, which he doesn't care for. But another option was expressed that he could basically, what do you call that? Try to genetically alter them so that they're not as aggressive. And I think there's a third option, but I don't exactly remember what that is. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, he mentions later 3 options, but I remember there basically being kind of 2. But anyway, he's being presented with a time ring. And I think you could kind of see it there a little bit at the bottom of the screen. And that time ring is his lifeline to get back. And just as the Time Lord disappeared, the Doctor was wondering what happened to Harry and Sarah. I mean, because he's been traveling with Harry Sullivan and Sarah Jane Smith. But the smoke clears, and woe and behold, there they are.
I think this is one of the very few stories where it literally leads on from the previous one, because in the previous story ended with them being transmatted, which is teleported from Earth up to a space station Nerva. So what they've done, they've literally grabbed them in the middle of a teleportation, which is why we don't see the TARDIS.
Yeah,
actually coming into TARDIS.
Well, was there one in between? Because I know they were up at the space station. There was also the Ark. Yeah, and then there was also the Sontaran experiment.
Yeah, I think this one comes immediately after the Sontaran experiment, I think, because they are. Yeah. As I said, they're beaming back up, and it's a the transmit beam rather than the TARDIS itself that is they actually intercepted one.
Well, and I remember, the early ones in Tom Baker's run were like that. Well, the first one was Robot, not to be confused with our robot in the chat. But there we go.
Tom's 2nd or 3rd season.
This is still, I think, season 1.
No, because he's. Oh no, sorry, no, what? No, I'm getting confused. It could not be. No, so I was going to say he was with Joe, but Joe was John Pertwee. Yeah, could be.
I believe we're close to it. I remember. I looked it up. The broadcast date was in 75. So.
Yeah, it's definitely early in his run.
Yep. Well, and then we have this explosion there, and they're wondering what's going on here. Flat on their back and everything, and then they smoke clears and they see a fallen soldier there, and then they notice the same thing I was mentioning earlier. Look at these weapons. They're like centuries apart. And look at it. He has a gas mask, and also they notice like a radiation detector. Those also don't fit together time-wise. And let's see what else is going on. He kind of peers over and sees a landmine. And it's weird he notices it, but wouldn't you know, the Doctor eventually ends up stumbling upon it. Because they were distracted. Something up on the hill heard a sound. They feel like they're being watched. And then all of a sudden the Doctor realizes, oh, I'm standing on a landmine. And there it is. If he moves too quickly or releases pressure from it without it being stabilized, he'll probably get blown up. So he's got to stand still. And Harry Sullivan's a brave guy. Starts putting some of the rocks underneath. And then to stabilize it. And Sarah Jane is backing up. And the Doctor tells Harry to back up too. No reason for both of us to risk our lives. But Harry's like, no. It'll probably go better if I'm here to make sure it's stable.
Why doesn't he just sonic screwdriver it?
I don't
See?
know.
I don't think he can actually move even enough to bend down. I think it would be the explanation for that.
Well, the vibrations just might disturb it and
Yeah.
make it go off.
I mean, this of course is back in the days when a sonic screwdriver was basically that, a screwdriver.
Yeah, not
Make
like
wood.
an everything device.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least mostly a screwdriver. Well, anyway, then they see in the fog a mysterious figure. And then I also see that a dome. Oh my goodness. There's like a civilization in there. Wow. What are they doing with all these old weapons if they have protection like that? And that's when the doctor explains, that it's probably a long standing war where they started off with modern equipment and now it's older stuff from different eras. They're using whatever they can. Find a door, and but they walk away from it because it's locked, and then the door slides apart there. Somebody's watching them. There's been people watching them the whole time. And they also mentioned that here in the trenches, they have some dead bodies there, kind of like trying to look like they're still inhabited. So it feels like the population's smaller than what they need. And they're trying to utilize some folks there. Some dead folks. What's going on here? Well, it's all foggy and stuff like that. And there's some explosions and stuff. They kind of get separated. And there we go. Some gunfire. Well, actually, I think some mutos tried to get him, right? Yeah. The people from the wastelands, the mutated people that are left out there are basically, on nobody's side. That they're shunned by everybody, so they really don't have friends. And so they were kind of like trying to take them down or something. And then they get shot by some soldiers, but separated as well. So the soldiers take in Harry and the doctor, and what's her name? Sarah Jane Smith gets left outside.
Yeah. They take in the doctor and Harry in dark clothing, and they completely miss the woman in day-glow yellow.
Well, it was smoky foggy.
Yeah.
Whatever that was. Yeah. All right. So now they're inside and they're being called mutos right away, pretty much. And so, but they don't know what mutos are as of yet. But yeah, this is the blurry stuff. I think I do have the DVD set, but I'm not good at getting the DVD data on my computer.
Do you
slides?
Do you have the date that this first aired?
75. I don't know. I don't remember the month, but it was a month in 75.
I'll have to verify this, but I believe this was watched by 10 times as many people that watched any single episode of the last season.
Huh.
Because didn't they go below 1 million or 2 million? Maybe it's 5 times. But this was watched by 10.7 million viewers on the original broadcast.
Oh, well, it's the origin story for the Daleks. So
yeah, but the British population was like half at the time. So I mean, it's insane. And they just had broadcast TV.
Yeah,
it goes to show you how far the show had.
On the plus side, there's a lot more English.
yeah. I hear you.
Quietly.
I hear you. You're already going to jail, so
My goodness. Let me see. So
it took me ages to think. I know that guy. The guy on the left. I know that guy. I've looked up on IMDb, and was also in a very famous comedy show a few years later called Hello, Hello.
Oh yeah.
It's Guy Sign is the actor's name. I'm thinking, where do I know him from? And I looked him up, and of course.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, he's got a very recognizable personality in this episode.
Yeah.
He's the young, kind of like Alexander the Great figure. He's a young leader, but he's a leader because I guess a lot of the older folks died off, or many of them serve in the elite group in the bunker where they make all the stuff. And you'll see some of what they've been making. So they're talking there. It's like they think they're mutos. They're asking, what is a muto and stuff like that. But I guess you get the feeling they're not really sure that they're mutos. They were thinking, well, if there was life on other planets, you'd probably be similar to that because you're not a muto. You're definitely not Thals. But Davros, that's their chief scientist, says there is no intelligent life on other planets.
I forgot to mention, did you know the opening conversation between the Doctor and the Time Lord was inspired by the Ingmar Bergman movie, The Seventh Seal? Originally, the scene took place in a garden, but David Maloney and Philip Hinchcliffe disliked the idea, and they moved it to the location that we saw.
I'm glad you paused in there because I hadn't clocked. I was watching this one earlier on today, and I'm thinking, okay, they're leaning heavily into the World War II aspect the Daleks were supposed to represent. And I that salute to that. Oddly enough, I'm reasonably certain that's the Mickey take of the Roman that they did in Hello Hello. When instead of saying the HH word, Donald go club instead, and that's what he did. I'm pretty certain that was the same salute they did as well, rather than the Roman one. Oddly enough.
Yeah, they were doing all sorts of mix of salutes. Some that seem kind of Roman. Sometimes they raise their right hand straight up. But I've seen that used as a Roman salute sometimes too.
I'll have to look that up later and see if I can.
Yeah.
I'll create an episode of Hello.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they used it in The Life of Brian. Also, just putting it.
This is the only episode where Nider wears an Iron Cross because they were trying to be reminiscent of Nazis.
Yeah, you certainly got that vibe.
That word,
yeah, they decided the Iron Cross reference was too blatant, and so they eliminated that for the rest of the story.
Well, this guy, I think his name's Raven, isn't it? The leader here, the military leader. He's talking about how they're going to wipe the Thals off this map. How does that make you feel? And well, he's just like, well, how are you going to do that? Really, the Doctor's trying to do something here. He gets a hold of a baton to point at the board, but uses it to kind of like flick his gun back and get it to Harry, and Harry picks it up.
Yeah, all the producers and Terry Nation himself thought they went a little too far with the opening scene to chase away some of the younger viewers. Yeah, they so David Maloney, and he came up with the opening scene of the gas mask soldiers being machine gunned to death, and even Terry Nation thought it went a bit too far, and they said it was never their intention to lose the younger viewers. They just wanted to set up the atmosphere.
The weird thing on that is that I wonder how consciously they were going and reminiscing back to the War Games, the Troughton's, if I remember right, Troughton's last episode series, because I thought, and my first thought was they're supposed to be. It's obviously either they're in the Warhammer 40k universe and they're Death Corps of Krieg, or more likely, very much World War One vibe. With the weapons. Yeah. So I'm wondering how much of that was either an unintentional or deliberate callback to the War Games.
Well, if you haven't seen The Seventh Seal, it's an amazing movie, and I think it's one every.
I never seen you mean, but yeah. Didn't they reference that in Bill and Ted as well?
Yes, they did. In Death. They achieved the gas effect using nothing but dry ice and green lighting.
Well, anyway, the leader has a sore hand. And so now Harry kind of takes over. The Doctor uses the sonic screwdriver to ruin their 4-track. As you see, some smoke comes out of it. And there we are. Basically, they're saying, okay, you're going to show us the way out of here. They also want to find Sarah again. She's outside. She can't get in. So she's just walking around looking for where to go. She's wild and free. And so anyway, this guy's just begrudgingly taking him outside. He doesn't think they're going to be able to go far. And indeed not, because this guy runs into them. Nida. Yeah, very Germanic reference there with the name Nida. These guys are looking around. Basically, Nida walks by with some soldiers, but they're not fooled. They kind of pass by to make them relax, but then they turn around and shoot. But at least the Doctor and Harry were quick enough to just run for it. So they're trying to find their way out. And Nider's not very happy with the guy. It's like, how did 2 unarmed prisoners, basically get control of the situation?
It's very 1970s BBC studio sets that you can see there.
Yeah,
Something like that. The same sort of thing you see in if I ever get you guys onto Blake 7.
You know what?
See, the sets will be very similar.
I think we already passed my first cue. My first video cue. But now that we're back out in the wasteland, we might as well play that. This is something from earlier on when they first saw that soldier lying there. And I got this cue because it's like some good old, as soon as you hear the synth in this, the first thing you're going to think of is Doctor Who.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do see a number in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, please let me know. Oh, it looks like we did have another one here. Unless this is when the Doctor gets recaptured. Oh, spoiler.
Good. Well, now he's got any chance of a cup of tea. What?
That comes later. That is when he's recaptured.
Spoiler for 50-plus-year-old show.
There we go. It's foggy and smoky and all that stuff. And they're wandering around trying to get away. And, there's all sorts of warfare going on. They hide, they collapse. And it actually took a bit for them to kind of walk around here. And eventually they see they are surrounded and outnumbered. So they get captured and taken back in. What a shame. It's like, man. But at least we got to see the outdoors a bit and feel kind of like the threat of, what's surrounding them, that they're isolated. There's really nowhere to really run and hide. But then there's Nider with the magnifying glass. And he's like, you guys are strange. If I would have known better, I thought, yeah, it's a running theme. You must be, I would think you'd be from another planet, except for the fact that there is no life on other planets, at least no intelligent life. As Davros says.
Well, it's the BBC, so they're not wrong.
And he's like, oh, really? Who is this Davros? Was the line there? Who is this guy? It's like, because Nider said he's never wrong. And Doctor's like, well, I'm wrong now and then. Who is this guy that's never wrong? Or at least never admits it. Okay, so they are there yapping back and forth because the Doctor's going to be interrogated. They're taking them as prisoners, going to interrogate them, but also Niter needs some supplies, and the amount of supplies are more than this guy wants to give him, but the orders came straight from Davros, and you got to get him there by midnight. And then there's Sarah Jane Smith outside looking around. And we got to a point where it's dark and foggy. And she sees this guy here, scary looking guy. And, with some other guy there too that we'll realize later is Garmin. But she's kind of peeking at them, wondering what's going on. And she sees the Dalek. And she sees this guy using his remote control to get the Dalek to shoot at right now just stuff. But the test worked, and that's the end of part 1. And I decided to include the end credits here so that we look at them earlier rather than later. Sarah Jane Smith, there we go.
Like I said, the reason this is the bit my favourite team.
Elizabeth with an S.
Fourth Doctor and Liz.
Ian Marter. Yeah, I like Harry. And then we have here Davros. Wisher. Michael Wisher. I keep wanting to call him Withers, but no. And then Niter. Good old Peter. And I guess he gets to play Germans a lot in films. Okay. And then, Garmin. Oh, I didn't know there was an H in Garmin. But anyway, we'll see Garmin later. And there's Raven. And the Time Lord at the beginning. That's basically the credits of the actors. I heard a little bit of a boop. What do we have here? Did we get somebody new?
It's the Phobos came back in.
Oh.
You got to let him in, though.
Oh.
I didn't even,
I didn't know that he had left.
no, I noticed.
Hold on. I'm trying to click on him to get him back up. There you go.
Yeah, my audio dropped out and I couldn't fix it. So I
Great.
Jip out and come back in. Yeah, I think it was on this end, though, so not your fault.
Oh, we were just talking and ignoring you. Is that how you found out?
No, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, you couldn't hear us. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Great. Well, first time coming back to StreamYard, and we already have audio issues. Great. But anyway,
would it be overly subtle of me to suggest that people look very carefully at the name of the race?
yes, Kaled leader. I mean, the Doctor even said that himself when he was being held there the first time, and they said, "We are the Kaleds," or something like that. And then he's like, "Oh, that's an anagram of."
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be an urban myth. It turns out that actually they got the name from telephone directories, where was it telephone? Some sort of telephone, or was it encyclopedias or something, where you used to get, where you got something with a list of alphabetical entries, and each volume used to have what the start and end was. So you'd got AAA, for example, AAR or something, all the way down to CAN for cans or something. And the theory was that this was DAL to LEK, and that's where they got the word Dalek from, but that's not true. That was going on for quite a while, but apparently that's not true.
So you just spent that time explaining to us something that's not true.
Yes.
Okay.
This is Doctor Who. This is Doctor. It was true until the Doctor went back and changed time.
Oh. Well, at least the Dalek operator was at that time John Scott Martin. Okay, so we move on here, written by, of course, Terry Nation again, who created the Daleks way back early, and even with the William Hartnell era.
Yeah.
And then there's production advisors, all this stuff. I think we'll more to do here, although I did want to give a shout out there too. Well, the title music, not only Ron Gaynor, but also Delia Derbyshire. She worked at the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. And then we'll see the incidental music, Dudley Simpson. I love the Tom Baker era music.
Now, even though this is many people's like favorite storyline, not everyone was a fan. Katie Manning, the actress who played Jo Grant in the Planet of the Daleks, said she thinks the Daleks lost their menace, starting with the story. She said, the moment I saw Davros in the 70s looking like everybody on the tube around 6 o'clock at night with their headphones on, it took away the menace of something that isn't human. Because suddenly it's half a bloke in there. There's nothing human about a Dalek, although she wasn't a fan of this. Former producer Barry Letts said this is Terry Nation's masterpiece. So a little bit of trivia there.
Yeah. Good grab there. And by the way, the script editor.
Just like her.
But don't forget, she was completely blind if she took off her glasses. So yeah, it's long to go, Casey Manning, apparently. Yeah.
Directed by David Maloney. Excuse me.
I can see part of her argument that it takes away some of the mystery. I can see, it's a little bit like we don't want explanations for the predators or the alien.
Well,
Well, you got an unwanted explanation of the Doctor later years.
So it says
no, we didn't.
Directed by David Maloney, color. Well, Maloney rhymes with baloney. Baloney is pink, and pink is woke. Coincidence? I think not.
Well, at least that is also the last slide of our first deck there. So,
welcome to conspiracy theories on Mister. Oh, sorry.
You still have to do decks and StreamYards?
Still have to do what in StreamYards?
Decks.
Yeah. It's 50 megabytes file size maximum and 200 slides per. Unless I guess you use Google Slides, but I don't. I'd rather make the PDF files because the Google Slides, doing them one at a time like that is hard. So anyway, Genesis of the Daleks, Part 2. But it was quick and easy to get them back up. So already you see I'm not having to bumble as long to play some video clips or get the next batch of slides. So anyway, Sarah.
My Sarah Jane.
Yeah, she's out there, and Garmin kind of senses her, but, Davros calls him in and says, come on, hurry up. So she got saved by Davros there. But then she gets clobbered by some mutos, and this is how they get people. They pretty much surround you, stick their arms up kind of in the air, and just bring you down to the ground slowly. That's how the mutos get you. And there we go. There's the nighttime shot of the dome, the Kaled dome.
And the original vision for the mutos was much more bestial, but they just didn't have the makeup budget, so they tried to suggest it underneath a bunch of rags.
Yeah, they did kind of drag and walk funny, though, as in not being well. And here we have this guy that's like working the security board there. And he basically lets them in and so forth with, of course, being escorted. And then this is how they salute, I think. Yeah. Even saluting, Nider salutes back the same way. And, well, and this is the guy. Here we go. This is the one I already played, but we'll play it again. Because now that the Doctor has been captured again, it's like, it's been a taxing day, and he'd like a cup of tea. And so
Good, well, now he's got any chance of a cup of tea.
What? What? No, I guess not. And the guy reminds them that they're prisoners and they're in grave trouble. And we move along. And what happens here? Oh, my goodness. I think, oh, yeah, they're doing a security scan. Harry checks out, but they do a scan of the doctor, and he doesn't check out. There's a power source on him. So that's when they get the time ring, which is their lifeline. That's how they get out of there. So it gets confiscated, and the doctor is like, that can't possibly be a weapon. And it's like, no, we're taking it anyway. And puts it on the table there. Harry's like, don't worry about it. He's like, that's our lifeline. He's like, yeah, but you don't need to let them know about that. And the doctor's like, we got to make that our top priority, getting it back. But anyway, it's time to be questioned, I guess. And cut back to Sarah, who's been found by two mutos. One of them wants to eat her, and the other one says, oh, she's so beautiful. Why not? Why do we always have to destroy everything that's beautiful?
When we get to the, have you got the end titles for this as well?
Not this part, because I assume they'd be the same.
No, it's okay, because I think that I'll have a look on the IMDb. It's just I think that guy that was in the previous slide, I think he was also in another in the much.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Maybe they were different.
Yeah,
maybe they were different because they are separated into parts.
Yeah, well, the guests. What they'll tend to do is they normally only put the guest stars for that particular episode in. I think. So,
yeah. Okay. My bad.
That's okay.
My bad. Well, anyway, the mutos get scared off, so the one that wanted to eat her runs away and gets shot. He wouldn't freeze. But even though they're getting captured, at least they're alive. But they're being captured by people with different uniforms. And we'll see about that later. Here we go. The doctor and Harry are now being questioned by Ronson, who's a scientist. It's a little bit different, but he's like, but you better answer my questions or else I'll feed you to the military. They are good at loosening tongues, as he says. And the doctor's like, Well, the thing is, Ronson, he's a little bit smarter, and he's like, you guys, I'd swear this is technology from another planet. And the doctor's like, yeah. And he looks at his data here from the scan, and he notices that, wow, you don't fit any configurations of life on this planet. Only the outward appearance looks the same. And the doctor's like, you can't judge by outward appearances. Yeah. And so Ronson actually finds that intriguing because he also has heard that there's no intelligent life on other planets. But the doctor does say that there are more than 7 galaxies. Apparently Davros is only aware of 7, or he wants them to all feel isolated and just assume they're the only people. But that's weird because he makes the Daleks to rule the galaxy, but he says there's no other life there. At least no one worth ruling. Well, anyway, something's happening. So everyone stands up, and that's when Davros comes in. Yep. He doesn't look like a TV watcher. That must have been an insult of the audience. But anyway, he's got some controls there. He wants to show everybody the... I forget what they called it, the travel suits or travel machines, basically travel carriers. And the doctor called them Daleks, but this guy's like, no, it's just travel carriers or people carriers, whatever. Kaled carriers. He hasn't heard the term Dalek yet. But the doctor says, oh, whatever you call them, but they're Daleks. And they take out this weapon and fit it up to the Dalek. At first they were just, Davros was asking it to move around, and they were impressed that he had voice control over it. And then they suited it up with a weapon, and they're just going to, and he says, I'm taking the voice control off. So the Dalek is going to do whatever it wants. And it turns around and it notices the Doctor and Harry. And it's like, it noticed the outsiders. But Ronson's like, no, wait. I guess since he knows they're from another planet, he feels they may have valuable information or something like that. Too intriguing of a find to just have them be an experiment at this point. And so he stops them, and Davros is pissed. Davros is like, they were about to carry out my experiment. That's insubordination. You are going to be punished. You're going to be a published author, Ronson. No, he's going to be punished, but, for insubordination. But Davros decides, okay, you could continue questioning them. But he wants to let you know, even though Ronson may have had the right decision there, Davros can't admit it, so he's got to punish him later.
You will be punished for this!
Yep, and that's what he told him. Davros has got one of those voices. And there's Ronnie. He's like scared and stuff, but he explains himself, and yeah, that's where he comes up with the decision. You'll be punished later, but you'll be able to take the prisoners now. Mm-hmm.
I have an unusual bit of Dalek trivia.
No.
So, in 2005, the Daleks checked off another box in pop culture bingo by starring in an adult movie called Abducted by the Daleks. It's
The
exactly
Dildlicks.
what you think it is.
The Dildlicks, yeah.
And the BBC sued them into oblivion. It resulted in one of the greatest statements made by the Terry Nation estate.
Oh, yeah?
The reason the Daleks are still the most sinister thing in the universe is because they do not make things like porn. They weren't ever intended to be those kind of creatures. It's simple. Daleks don't do porn. So, I figured. And Rob Hull from Doncaster in South Yorkshire holds the official Guinness Book of World Records for the largest collection of Daleks in the world. He's amassed different models, everything from tiny toys to towering replicas.
Oh.
Weirdly, he's not really a fan of the show.
He's a collector, maybe.
Yeah, since winning the award in 2012, his collection has grown to 1,801 Dalek replicas.
Wow.
None of which are pornographic.
No. None of which vibrate.
I was half right and half wrong. That chap. Oh, sorry, Gunnister.
I was going to say, I think I saw one of those once, right next to the lightsaber vibrators. So,
oh dear.
Hey, listen, it's Rule 34.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Of course, Rule 34A is Rule 34 subsection B is that brackets the porn version is usually better if it's a film.
Well, Ronson says, "Well, I wasn't doing you any favors there. We needed your information and so forth." But Harry and the Doctor are happy that their lives have been spared. And we're looking at the time ring there, just reminding you they want that back, but they don't have it. There's the other dome, the Thal dome. The Thals have domes, the Kaleds have domes. And the Thals have big square rifles with spikes on the end of them. There we go. And so that's a guard, and she's wondering what's going on here. The Muto's like, usually they kill you on sight. They must have some slave labor thing going on here. And this guy, who's a Kaled, an unfortunate Kaled who was captured, says, well, they're using us to carry radioactive stuff to a warhead. A warhead they're going to use to destroy my people.
Wasn't the Kaled guy there also one of the ones that was with the Doctor and Harry earlier on?
He looks kind of similar to the guy to the right of Raven.
Yeah.
It may be, but we don't see that he got captured. Although some of the fight scenes are really kind of hard to see. But I don't know. But in any case.
Oh, I think I lost volume again. Are you guys talking?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know if you can hear me.
I hear you, but since you don't hear me, that's not going to help much. I guess he's going to leave and come back and see if that fixes it. Great job, StreamYards. Well, anyway, we soldier on. Basically, he's explaining to them that this is radioactive stuff, and they didn't bother to shield it because we're expendable. So we're going to slowly die from radiation poisoning or some sort of toxemia, he said. So anyway, she's like, well, we got to get out of here, before we get too weak. But the soldiers come, take them out, or the guards come, take them out, and they start loading stuff. But she does notice the rockets peak there. And the radiation levels, meter there, they show, don't tell. You get to see the meter yourself. And then when the canisters come out, and they got to pick them up and carry them to the nose cone, you see the radiation come up. The bell will ding when and if Istophobos comes back. So I'm listening for that. Yep, radiation levels are going up. And we're back with the Doctor and Harry now. They're just getting thrown around as prisoners. Let me see. Where is he? I heard the noise that Istophobos is back, but I don't see him. Does somebody see him? I don't think Liza is completely with us right now.
I can't see anything because I'm
Looking at the chat, taking care of the chat.
Oh, you're doing a wonderful job being
Thank you.
hostess with the mostest. I just heard a sound. I thought Istophobos was back, but I don't see him there.
Hold on.
All right.
That was a Generation game reference, wasn't it? Hostess with the mostest.
I just remember it from Spinal Tap with Fran Drescher.
I think that was... Okay. Maybe it's from that. I don't know.
Don't know. Maybe our chat knows. So, Doctor and Harry...
That knows all, yes.
Yeah. Doctor and Harry want their ring, but they can't get it. But anyway, the Doctor is kind of being savvy and luring Ronson in. He kind of notices that Ronson's not completely happy with these Dalek inventions. And especially since Ronson was away, found out that they're now called the Daleks. And it's like, how did this guy know when Davros just only said that?
We got to let Istophobos back in.
He is back in?
He needs you to bring him back in.
Bring him back in?
Yeah.
Well, is he down below the stage? I don't...
Yes.
Oh. Archer, Liza, I don't see him below the stage.
He's there.
Are there two rows? Oh, it put him in another row. And I had to scroll down to see him. Sorry about that, Ishta.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was there I was there hearing you go, I don't see him. I don't know where he is.
Oh,
My
well,
audio
yeah.
dropped again. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's I'm not used to StreamYard. That's really what it is. The slides and everything take up space on this bar. So I'm going to remove these slides that I don't need anymore, because what happened is when you came back on below the stage there, it put you in a row below. And you have to scroll down to see that row. So I was looking there and I didn't see it. Yeah, Eevee Mux expands them across the screen. StreamYard uses a second row.
Well,
Oh.
I'm back now. Like I said, I just heard suddenly I couldn't hear anybody again. So
It's just a few teething issues.
yeah. I think it might be my pair of headphones. I switched headphones. So
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could hear you even when you were asking this, but of course,
oh
you couldn't.
yeah. No, I think it's on this end. I'll diagnose that later. I swapped headphones, so hopefully I'll be good for the rest.
Well, anyway, he kind of lures him in and gets him to talk, and Ronson expresses that he doesn't like the fact that these Daleks are basically made from our genetic material, and they have no conscience, which he finds to be problematic, as anyone should. And he's like, this is what we're meant to become, and he takes the Doctor and Harry over here, where we see this, and we get our fourth video, which I could play a little bit more quickly. Lovely.
I like the way they've got what I think is quite good. For some reason, there's something about the green lighting which says radiation and mutation or something in there.
Yeah,
Maybe
he
that's
kind of
what-
looks like She-Hulk.
well, that as well, but yes. But She-Hulk didn't exist. I'm thinking they did the same for the green. In fact, the Green Death was similar, so maybe that's what it's sort of green for poison. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's sort of an inbuilt reaction.
Maybe. Well, also glows cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, at first we don't see the Daleks, but later on we will see them in there. All their beauty. But so he backs up and he's like, you've got problems. That's what we are going to become, he's like saying. Well, not you literally, but your people are going to be shaped into that, because I guess they can ride around in carriers and operate Daleks better. But anyway, these guys are tired even after their first load. And so Sarah's like, all right, we got to try to escape now or else we won't have energy to later. And she comes up with the idea that you can get out maybe at the top, climbing up the rocket, might be able to get out on top of the dome. And he's like, well, should be able to get down from that. It's not super steep, it's a dome. And this guy's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, but you don't have much choice. You're going to die anyway. So they decide, okay, we'll try it. There we go. And Doctor's still talking with Ronson about stuff, saying, because Ronson says that, inside the dome, see, they're in a bunker where the elite hide out, the people that make the Daleks and all that. And in the dome is the city, basically, the civilization and the government there. There's some officials that would question this. So Ronson says, well, I can't leave. And the Doctor suggests, well, let Harry and I go. We could try and talk to people in the government that you want to reach. And so it becomes a deal then. That's what they're going to do. And so they're going to plan another escape. And over here, Sarah Jane Smith is planning an escape too. She's with the muto named Severin and some Kaled guy. I don't know his name. There's one of the beasts in this cave that the Doctor and Harry have to go through. They got to go into a cave where some of Davros's experiments still live. Some of the mutos are mutations of chemical and biological weapons. But the dwellers of this cave are like experiments that got discarded by Davros. Scary stuff. And so here, they smack some guards and start climbing. So now they're climbing, and a guard was able to get to the alarm. And then they start firing at them, firing their weapons. Oh, look at that. Sarah can climb. She got her leg up high. And so they're climbing up this rocket.
Fortunately, she didn't wear a tight skirt.
Well, the guards down below might be able to see a little something.
No, I mean,
Mister,
she wouldn't
you
be able
just
to move her
received
legs
the
like that, is what I meant. But,
Oh, what is we have?
super chat from Flav, 10 British pounds.
Well, thank you very much, Flav.
Yes.
Liza, would you do me the honors? Because my slide controls, just like an Eevee Mux, they're right on top of where the chat is.
Okay. Flav says, just wanted to say hat tip to Istaphobos. Very much enjoying these series related anecdotes he's dropping in. No idea if you're a huge fan and already knew or did your homework, but good job, mate.
Well, I'll let Istaphobos take that one.
Cool beans.
Yeah, well, I am a huge fan, and some of these I know because with the holidays, I didn't have time to rewatch the series and refresh my memory. I mean, I saw it when it came out, and I've watched it several times since. And Baker is my favorite Doctor of the classic era, but I just feel like, I'm not as on top of it, which is why I'm just sort of thinking about pulling the best Dalek stories I could think of. And, I always like to go a little bit behind the scenes to add some color to our recaps.
Yes, you do a wonderful job at that. And
did we cover because I was a little late between the original Daleks were descended from the dolls, and then they got retconned in this series to be descended from the Kaleds, who followed the holy book of the dolls, so they kept them in continuity.
I didn't remember that
And
one.
and the word Dalek means God in the language of doll, because they said one day your species will be unto a god.
Wow.
oh my God, I did not know that.
So, yeah, the problem with being as old as me is I have a lot of facts, but not necessarily in order.
Yeah, well,
I know the feeling, and
organized.
I suspect I'm not quite as old as you believe, which is unusual, but I know the feeling.
well,
No,
that's why folks need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm basically Paul Shadow's age. So
You never know what you're going to get at what point. I think the way we're going now, this is going to be a 2-weeker because we're only getting to the end of episode 2 here. So we'll go to the end of 3, and the next week we'll do 4, 5, and 6. It looks like.
that sounds perfect.
Yep. Because we got one more set to go, and if we do all 6, I think Istaphobos will be leaving early. But anyway, this is the point where the music goes. Yep.
Apparently,
She falls at this point, and so that's her falling.
Apparently, this is, according to IMDb, this is the first time they used a freeze frame cliffhanger in Doctor Who.
Yeah, I was gonna save that to the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Did you see the part where Sarah leans up against the wall and the whole wall moves a little bit? That was one of the goofs.
Well, I mean, I mean, with all this war that's been going on for ages, you gotta expect the infrastructure is going to be a little worn out too.
This is one of only 5 serials where the TARDIS is not featured.
But thanks again, Flav, and be sure to, if you do use X at all and you want to, look me up there so we can get you in the group. Flav is a channel member as well as a contributor through Super Chatting. Genesis of the Daleks, Part 3.
Okay, I got a good one that Michael Wisher prepared for his role of Davros by wearing a paper bag over his head during the rehearsals. It helped him to convey the emotion of the part purely through dialogue.
Is that why you sound so agitated?
Well, and he was a heavy smoker, so he put 2 holes in the bag so he could smoke underneath it while they were rehearsing.
Goodness.
And Tom Baker found the sight of smoke coming out the holes in the top of the bag. Hilarious.
Yeah, Baker also was someone who smoked, but he made sure to not do it in public while he was playing doctor. He didn't want the children to see.
Good for him.
Yep. Took it very seriously.
Yeah, kids don't need to see that stuff.
Well, fortunately, it wasn't a long drop, and there she is on her back. Yes. And here comes a muto to take advantage of the situation. No, actually, he's lifting her up, and because they don't have long, man. The gunmen are coming, and so they start climbing again, rocking and rolling up that ladder or the scaffolding, and there she is stretching again.
I do like this scene.
You like, yeah, she's climbing, she's scared, but she still powers through. And Severin does give her encouragement. Now he's saying, okay, we got to jump over there. This is where she really gets scared, is to jump across. Although it doesn't look like that wide of a gap, but you know, she's looking up at the dome, and she is a bit scared, and so she does basically make it across. A little bit of a leg lift here, and as you see, it's not very wide, but I guess being that high up, I'd be scared too. All right, and now they're climbing up further. Muto goes first, and this guy's like, nah, you're coming back. And so it's like another escape attempt. First time it was Doctor and Harry, now it's these guys. Another escape attempt that gets thwarted.
Yeah, they do seem to sort of do back and forth in this one. I don't want to use the word padding, but they do seem to back, escape and come back, escape and reset several times on this one, which is one reason why it's 6 episodes long, I suppose.
Well, I guess it makes the people that are keeping them prisoner more, I don't know, it gives you a little bit of adventure.
Well, yeah,
Like,
it does build the tension, yeah, definitely.
A letdown, and there, the guard, I'm not sure if he intentionally tries to trip her, but he could tell she's scared of heights, and he's teaching her a lesson. I could drop you right now because they say that you'd die before you even hit the ground. He's like, I don't know if that's true, though. And so he's just kind of like playing with her in a very cruel way. What's that?
I just saw not Z3PO's comment.
You're more than welcome to share with the rest of us.
Mr. needs to update his Dalek skin to the intersectional Palestinian pride flag.
Oh, boy. Well, I'll leave that one go. Now, the doctor and Harry are crawling through the cave. They saw some sort of lizardy thing before, but now they see a grate. They think they're on the way out, but it's a kind of like a rigid, or it's like a clam with ridges or an oyster or something. I guess Davros was into making some mollusks or something. But so taking a look at that.
Yeah, when I was thinking, when they mentioned mutant animals, I was expecting werewolves and stuff like that. But no, we got a carnivorous clam. Yes.
Well, it grabbed Harry by the foot, and the doctor's trying to pound it with a rock.
It can't go after you. They're not very scary, but
yeah. Well, when you got your foot in them, it is. The doctor's pounding it with a rock, and eventually has to use a big stick to pry it open.
For that fall, they initially hired a stunt double for Elizabeth Sladen.
Uh-huh.
But the fall was only 8 feet, and Sladen had been doing a rehearsal for 10 feet.
Huh.
So they ultimately decided to not go with the stunt double and do the freeze frame for the That's how the freeze frame became the cliffhanger.
All right.
Well, we're soldiering on. The doctor was able to pry it open, and Harry's like, why do I always have to put a foot in it? Some of that good old Sullivan humor. The two of them are going to try here to work on these corroded bars, see if they can get them open. And meanwhile, I think Davros finds out here that the prisoners, oh no, he doesn't find out yet, but this guy here kind of knows that their prisoners escaped, and he knows what they're doing because he's in charge of communications. So you get a little fear like, uh-oh. Ronson was trying to play like he didn't know better, but this guy says, no, I'm on your side here. You know, so we see a little bit of a conspiracy working on there. And then back at the governmental dome of the Kaleds, these are some government officials. They're in front of the map, and even Raven's there, and Raven's going to hear out the doctor. So the doctor talks about, they didn't show it all, but basically doctor tells them about the history of the Daleks, what they're going to go on to do. So, and
this is a perfect time. Do you know why Terry Nation even created Davros?
No, I do not.
So Nation, originally they were just going to do the Daleks, but he felt like it was really boring listening to Daleks give speeches. So he created the character to Davros to make the Daleks in his image as a spokesperson for them.
Oh. Yeah, they do have a resemblance. They do have similar ways of communicating.
Yeah, and during this episode, this is actually, so let me make sure I get it. So there were a couple of children visiting Tom Baker at the studio, and they were shown Michael Wisher in costume as Davros. He stayed completely still, and they started to believe he was fake. Yeah, so they got close and they started messing with his switches.
Mm-hmm.
He suddenly grabbed one of their hands and he scared the piss out of him.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow, that's a guy with a sense of humor.
Yep. I have one more
Oh,
funny Dalek story, but I want to make sure I get it right. So,
all right. Well, yeah, we got to make sure you get it right there. We wouldn't want inaccuracies on earworms ever.
Well, I mean, I just, yeah, it's kind of funny. So I wanted to make sure I got that one. Like originally, all the soldiers were supposed to be like 15, 16-year-olds, and to give the image of like they're having to use, people as soon as they were old enough to fight. But at some point, I think they decided to make them older again. So.
All right. Well, here we are. Davros catches wind of what's happening because they got some spies in the dome. And Nider tells him. And so Davros is like, we'll take care of this. Davros is a planner. He has an idea of how they're going to handle it. Nider's the guy that says, all right, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are you going to do? And Davros is more like, hey, you're going to find out what we're going to do. That kind of stuff. But anyway, Ronson's there. Basically, Ronson wasn't looking at them. They were looking at Ronson. They're like, so his prisoners are in the dome talking to our government. And he says he's going to handle Ronson his own way later. But anyway, the doctor gave his presentation, and this guy in the middle there, Raven, says, all right, that's a great presentation. But the doctor's like, well, only if they end up doing what we need them to do to stop this experimentation, stop the Daleks from being created. And the government guy says, all right, well, we're going to have to make that decision in a month or something. I don't know. He didn't really give a timetable, but it's like, all right, we'll stop the production. And then we're going to do an investigation, but we're not stopping the project. We're just going to pause it, and then do our investigation. So it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. And this guy's really proud of their dome. I remember that came up in the conversation. He's proud of how Davros secured their dome, that it can't be blown up or anything. But they'll see later. Davros has some plans for them. Oh, we have number 5. Here we go.
Well, Doctor, looks as though we've got to cross the wastelands again.
Yes. And that's when our troubles really begin.
I love Tom Baker's delivery. Kind of a smart genius, a little bit humorous, just the right amount. Very confident. As a 400, at that point he was around 400 years old, so as a 400-year-old would be. He's been there, done that. He's seen it all. So anyway, this guy is talking to Davros and saying, all right, you're going to pause your project, and we're going to start investigating, and you need to shut it down in 12 hours. Davros wanted 24, but the guy's being a little stiff with him. Niter's worried again. I mean, these guys are going to shut us down. They're going to find out what we're doing, and they're not going to like it because we're getting rid of the conscience and all that stuff. And, well, Davros says, I'm going to take care of them. And he does have some plans for them. And then here we go. Look at this. The guy Raven gave Doctor Who, gave Doctor Who and Harry a map to get into the Thals city because they have some spies there, so they know. And you can sneak in there so you can try and get your friend, And so the doctor's sneaking in. And lo and behold, they find Niter and his best buddy, Davros, there, like having a talk. And they overhear them. And basically the deal being offered is, hey, your missile that you're making, your rocket, is not going to be able to break this dome. But I have a formula that will degrade the dome so that it will break it. I'll give you that formula because I really want to help you out because my people, they don't want me to stop the war. They want to keep it going, but I want to stop it, that sort of thing. And so this is the only way to stop it is by selling them out. And
a lot of allegory in here and some
into
historical events. Did you know this episode or this series, first time ever, they showed the beam of a weapon instead of just using the negative screen effect?
Well, yeah, I saw the beam and the negative screen effect, but this is the first time there was a beam, huh?
Yep.
Cool. And we hand over the formula. The Thals are talking it over a bit. Davros and Niter are hanging outside waiting for their answer, conniving a little bit, and the government decides they're going to go ahead and do it. They got nothing to lose, so they're going to do it, and all it takes is some artillery to put that formula on the dome, and then the rocket should work. And the doctor just says, hello, I'm a spy, and then clumps together the heads of 2 guards. Just knocks them out. And here we are next to the Thal rocket. You see the guard there. Well, guess what? That guard got clubbed. Well, actually, that guard ended up being the doctor. Looking good in that guard uniform. Well, here it is. Yeah, the doctor and Harry clubbed them and put on their uniforms outside, and now they're in there to rescue Sarah. And Sarah's so happy to see him. And so is Severin. So now they explain what's going to happen, that this rocket thing is going to be launched because there's a weakness in the dome. The Kaled dome's going to be destroyed. We got to do something about that because the time rings over there and all that. Oh, boy. And the doctor's here saying, okay, I'm going to sabotage this rocket or something. You guys head out to the Kaled Dome. So Severin and Sarah are heading out to the Kaled Dome, and then he tells these mutos, hey, run for your lives, guys, set you free. And he looks up at the rocket and tries to figure out how he's going to sabotage this thing. Oh, and there's Harry and Sarah getting through the same vent and back to the Kaled Dome through the wasteland. And these guys just come and try to shoot at him through a hole. But they didn't get them. Well, here he's looking at one of the fins on the rocket, but he doesn't notice the guard behind him, who takes a finger and puts it to the mic panel. Looks like a mic panel anyway. And so the doctor then gets electrocuted. I thought it was an alarm, but no. It's let's electrocute the doctor on the fence thing. And so he gets zapped. Look at that. Yeah, what did you say?
I said that's a horrific image.
Yeah, especially the look on his face like that.
Yeah.
As I said, all teeth and curls.
Do you have
And
another slide of Davros coming up?
No, in fact, this is the end of this deck.
Oh.
But you want to see Davros? Is that
can
what
you
you
go back up? Because there's interesting...
I'll back up because I want to save the upcoming slides for next time when we do parts 4 through 6.
So an interesting thing about that Davros mask.
Savvy Davy.
There we
go.
Wait
a minute. There we go.
So, when they were in pre-production, they got the attention of the famous BBC prosthetics designer John Freelander.
Mm-hmm.
He actually came off of another show just to make the mask.
Wow.
It was molded to Wisher's face by a makeup artist, Sylvia James. It was so well made he could even eat while he was wearing the mask.
Are you sure it wasn't Sylvia Anderson?
Nope. Sylvia James.
Well, no, I saw that name, Sylvia James in the credits.
And
costume designer.
So this isn't this episode, but so it was during a Dalek episode with Peter Davison.
Mm.
In between filming scenes, he got curious. He looked inside the Dalek and he climbed inside during lunch break because he just wanted to know like how it worked.
Yeah.
While he was inside, 2 crew members walked over, leaning against the Dalek, having a smoke break.
Yeah.
And they began talking shit about the director.
Uh-oh.
So Davison trapped. He didn't want to reveal his presence. He sort of, hunkered down and did his best Dalek voice. He goes, I heard you. I'm going to tell. You will be exterminated. And then he wheeled it away as fast as he could around the corner and got out of the Dalek. So they never knew who was inside. That's a pretty famous story. I'm sure most Doctor Who fans have heard that, but it's just hilarious.
Well, I didn't, so that's great.
I heard you. I'm going to tell.
I heard you.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
You have to get higher pitched.
And you got to sound more and more agitated as you speak.
Yeah, wow, that does a number on my throat. Way worse.
Yeah, I know. That's why I only said 3 words.
And when you become a Dalek, you have to pronounce every syllable with the same tone of voice. Oh
man, that gets monotonous.
Excited.
Here's a little teaser for next week.
What mistakes do they make? You will tell me.
No.
I think that was originally supposed to be the ending of this episode.
It's so much
that
easier
guy
to
manage? I'm sorry. Did he manage to get that sound without ring modulation?
No, there's ring modulation in that.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah.
According to IMDb, the
I didn't have any.
The episode overran its limit, so the cliffhanger was changed from Davros' speech, which I suspect may have been that one, to the Doctor being electrocuted. So originally, the electrocution wasn't supposed to be the cliffhanger. Apparently.
Oh wow. Well, it was a cliffhanger in a way. It was the part 3 ending, and Sarah's fall was the part 2 ending. So they hang you a little bit until next week.
Yeah, but I was like originally it was supposed to be. I would imagine if that's quite soon afterwards, it's probably was supposed to end up on Davros going manic rather than the Doctor being electrocuted, but ran on a little bit too long. So they decided they didn't want to cut anything out, which is good.
It's our cliffhanger this week because we're going to be doing parts 4 through 6 next week because we are already at the 2.25 mark.
Did you know Philip Hinchcliffe didn't want to do a Dalek story, but he inherited the script from outgoing producer Barry Letts? He said since it turned out to be a good story and, they decided to do it, he told Mahoney, he said he wanted it to have a really different feel from the previous Dalek stories.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I misread. Don't get super worried. We are at an hour and about 40 minutes. But I think it's probably good to just cut it in half. I know, Istophobos, you were doing some streaming earlier today. And yeah, we don't want to wear you down. Let's see here.
This is one of the long stories.
I forgot where I was in that thing. Anyway, I know they didn't originally want to do a Dalek story, and it turned out to be, one of the most famous and well-received of all.
Yeah, I mean, I think because of the concepts, and I guess that's something we could talk about a little bit here, like the traitorous, like basically Davros is just out for himself. And we'll see later when Doctor poses a philosophical question for him about a virus being the only organism in the universe because it killed off everything else. Would you make that virus? And Davros says, yes. Oh, my goodness. I could carry something with so much power in my hand. For him, it's all about power. And for the Kaled people, they were like, looking for protection and stuff to help them win the war by having these mobile tanks. But then Davros came up with the genetic adaptation, and they're kind of like, some of them, but others just go along because of fear,
I've never heard of this, but the Davros head, the big bald head, was inspired by a guy called Mekon. He was the archenemy of British comic strip hero Dan Dare.
Yeah. The Mekon was midget from Venus, big green head, flew around on a chair, a flying chair, a sort of saucer type, a little bit like Grogu.
Isn't there a Mekon on Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law? Like he's the guy with the big green head, or I think that's. Oh,
what do we have? Oh, Liza took that chat down too quick for me. Liza, could you bring that one up again? Thank you. Oh, let's see. The Mekon. Good band. Oh, the Mekons. The Mekons. I haven't heard of it.
That would have been something else that the BBC should have made in its heyday. Would have been Dan Dare. Oh, Lord. Pilot of the future.
All right, folks. Well, I think we've had a lovely evening. It's a great episode. And next week, we're going to be doing parts 4 through 6. So we're halfway through.
I think some of the themes in this are obviously the likes of the fear of nuclear war.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, it was made in the 70s when we sort of got past the 60s concerned. We as the height of the tensions, but they were still there.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, Ian Marter, the actor who plays Harry, also wrote a lot of the Target novelizations. His name appears on a lot of those.
Lovely. Yeah, I really like Harry's character. He's like, he doesn't have the same, shall we say, wisdom and wicked intelligence, scientific mind as the Doctor, but he still has his own confidence.
Yeah. I think the if I remember right, he was originally introduced in Robot when along with bloody hell, good God, when
Stewart.
Yeah.
Lethbridge Stewart. Well, he wasn't introduced. He'd
Yeah.
been a character before, but
no. So I was just looking. I know Ian Marter passed away. He passed away in 1986. I didn't realize he was that young.
wow.
He was 42.
That
So
was 5 years after Tom Baker's run.
there's an interesting, the very same year this came out, Fred Saberhagen published his first book about berserkers, which were
Wow.
doomsday weapons that their creators lost control of and ended up exterminating everybody, which has an uncanny similarity to the Daleks.
And it's even referenced in a certain TV series that we've been talking a lot about recently at
Yeah.
one point.
And that's that also the Star Trek episode, the Doomsday Weapon, it's also referred to as a berserker. And so, lots of fruit from that tree.
Interestingly, Harry and Sarah have actually got, unfortunately, sadly, neither of them are no longer with us. And they're both being played by other people on Big Finish. Sarah is being played by Liz Sladen's daughter.
Huh.
And she's getting really good at doing her mum's voice.
Oh, okay.
They've got several people who are actually playing their parent roles. Big Finish.
For
Tom
those
Baker,
fans,
still playing Tom Baker.
for the fans of Harvey Birdman out there, I was thinking Mintok. He was Mintok the Mind Taker, but he's green, but he doesn't really have a bulbous head. So,
so you said men? All right, before it was Menot, whatever. It's Mentok now.
Right, it's close, but it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, well, that's all right. That's all right.
And if you haven't ever seen Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, it's done along the same lines as Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It's hilarious.
Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah, so they basically take Birdman from the Hanna-Barbera series and they make him a lawyer. It's a courtroom drama with all of the Birdman.
Kind of like She-Hulk, huh?
Yeah, except this one's funny.
You roboted just on that sentence. Can you say that again?
I said yes, but this one is funny.
Yeah. Although Platoon's reviews were funny.
Oh, yeah, they always are. But yeah, but no, I mean, the show was garbage. The whole,
yes. Well, I didn't see it. I just saw it through Platoon, and
it was all of those. It was all, the series was dreary as hell, but, it has a feel like a Sequest, all those Adult Swim cartoons from the 90s that were very funny.
Oh, Sequest. Yeah, I remember Sunday nights.
Or it was C Lab. That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the actual Sequest with Roy Scheider.
No, it's an Adult Swim humorous cartoon about a laboratory under the sea.
Roy Scheider.
All of the I like that show. It really ended weird. Back then there wasn't really internet. You couldn't find out what was going on with your show. You wait all summer only to find out it's not coming back, and you're like, what?
Oh man, yeah.
And it comes back after Time Jump, but it does have the advantage of having Michael Ironside in it. So,
boy, it comes back, and the whole last season was a dream.
Yeah, but then that one just completely disappeared.
Yeah.
So, on the other hand, you could actually write a letter to the studio, and you would get an answer back then, and that doesn't happen anymore. It's like the old days when you could call a radio station.
Well, there was a little known sci-fi series from your side of the pond, I believe, which was cancelled and supposedly saved by a massive writing campaign.
Yeah, and
back in Train to the Stars or something.
Star Trek, the first, the original series was saved.
And Dr. Wendy on Sequest, the cute little brunette, that was the second Dax from Deep Space Nine.
Oh, Esri.
Yes.
Yeah, that was Rosalind Allen, Esri Dax. Yeah.
Was it Nicole DeBoer? Was it?
Oh wait, am I mixing those up?
Is
Yeah,
that the
I think
actor's name?
yeah.
No,
Rosalind Allen-
Rosalind Chow was O'Brien's missus.
Oh yeah.
She Rosalind Chow.
Well, the last name kind of makes it
Yeah.
Yeah.
believable there.
Okay.
But
yeah, you're right. She was what was she? She was in another sci-fi show. She looks almost exactly like Nicole DeBear. You're right. And the Dead Zone TV show, that was also Nicole DeBear, wasn't it?
Oh, that's interesting. Hold on. I've got Sequest DSV was 1994. Sequest 2032 was 1993. So that must have been the movie that became the series, I suppose.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I remember it was on Sunday nights, and I think it's the same night as like Airwolf, I think, and I didn't catch it a lot, but I did. I mean, at that time, I had seen 2010 with Roy Scheider, and I kind of liked that. I mean, I do like 2001 also, but even though they're vastly different, I like both in their own
they are.
ways. And 2010, I like it. Never lets up right from the beginning. It just keeps going.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it's good.
2010. Love it.
Oh, that's a game, not the original show. That explains a lot.
Maybe they do voiceovers. I know Claudia Christian did a voiceover in a video game once.
Yeah. So 2010 was much like the novelization of 2001. It was a fairly straightforward Arthur C. Clarke story.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't
But-
Alan. I don't know that.
The movie wasn't adapted from the book. He wrote the book at the same time they were filming 2001.
Yeah,
But-
it was originally a short story, I think.
Yeah, it was just about the monolith, nothing else. And thing was, because of an agreement, Stanley Kubrick had final say about anything published in the novelization. That's a very unusual thing to have, but I guess. But if you read the book, it's definitely more of a straightforward science fiction story. And 2010, the movie, is very much like 2001, the book. So, and he's written 4 of them. They all sort of flow together. I think it's 2067 and 3001 are the last 2.
Well,
2000
2069, I think.
Yeah,
Somehow
Yeah,
the
I
number
think-
69 sticks in my head. But anyway, we have not Z3PO in the chat there asks about The Expanse. Since, I mean, to make it around 2 hours, we could just go another 10 minutes and.
It's 2061.
Oh, whatever. I don't know why I was thinking 69.
I know why.
But so anyone feelings about The Expanse? I remember when I first discovered it, it was probably after it had already had been going a little bit, but I started right from the beginning, and I was like, I was kind of binge watching it on my phone.
I think I read a couple of books. What was interesting I found was that the first 2 seasons are the first 2 books in the series, but the first book in the series is the first, and it ends halfway through the second season.
Mm-hmm.
So the story in the first book is 1.5 seasons, and then the entire second book is just half a season. But I know they moved some of the characters around that didn't appear in earlier books, appeared right from the start in the series, I think.
Yeah, those books were bangers up until the point where they left their galaxy or whatever. Once they went on the other planet, the books just
I
really kind of died for me. And then they did the time jump, and I couldn't even finish the books anymore. But man, the first 4 or 5 books were real bangers.
Yep.
Yeah, I read them. I mean, I think I watched the first 4 seasons. But again, when they sort of started these other planets, and I kind of drifted away. And I didn't even bother with the last series, not least of which because there's a lot of controversy about how they treated one of the actors.
Yeah, and it didn't even make a lot of sense anymore, like why those guys would basically be acting like as a troubleshooting crew from the government that's left of Earth. But I will say they stopped the series right before the book that would have done the time jump. It was a good time to stop because the maniac who wanted to take over humanity, and he created himself a fortress on one of the planets inside the dimensional portal. So they apparently went there, and it starts 20 years later. They're older, walking around. I just like this. But man, I'll tell you what, the first 4 seasons of The Expanse, pretty darn awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I was kind of binge watching it, doing it on the phone and stuff. I was in Miami at the time, and our work schedules were different.
It's also another one of those shows which pays really, really good attention to the physics, including the fact that actually you don't have sound in space, so you don't hear guns.
But really, it could, like, people used to a low pressure environment like the belters, the beltaladas. Are they seriously could be out in space and not like?
Yeah, I feel like if I was,
one guy was like spaced and he was just floating there at the end of the episode. I thought he would have been splat.
Yeah, actually creating the entire portal network, that was the point where I just, I liked it better when the I guess the sludge, I forget what it, when it just turned people into, vomit zombies, and that it was actually like some kind of constructive material. Like I would have ended it where they were flying it in the sun and he sacrificed himself, and instead of going to Venus, they went into the sun. I thought that would have been a much more emotionally powerful way to end it. But when you're writing books and they're successful and you're making a lot of money, you don't necessarily want to end the series where it probably organically would end. So
I get the first couple of seasons of rewatch now.
I bet you didn't like Agent Miller's hairdo though.
Did anybody? Because I'll tell you what, I love Thomas Jane, but giving him that kind of haircut,
yeah,
it just really took away about 50% of the guy's gravitas. And he's a good enough actor. He could have just acted gay. He didn't need the haircut.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they were, well, whatever the thing was, it's just like he looked kind of like classy and stuff, except when he took his hat off. Then it was like, not that I have a problem with it necessarily. It just looked, it didn't look in line with the kind of character he was portraying. At least.
So in response to Swapper's chat, when I was getting my graduate degree in engineering, I audited some literature class, and actually I wrote a master's thesis on 2001. I've been obsessed with the movie for quite so many years, on and off throughout my lifetime. So, auditing class, you go to the class, you take it, but you're not officially enrolled and you don't get a grade.
Yeah.
But I was so, I took a lot of classes because I was interested in stuff other than, what I was getting my degree in. So I wrote a master's thesis on 2001.
Wow.
Wow.
I've done a load of those things, just online courses.
I have the DVD and the Blu-ray and the 4K, but the Laserdisc edition of that came with like a booklet, another entire book, a bunch of behind the scene publicity stills, an entire documentary of the making of that I've never seen anywhere else. It is the most exquisite package of that film I've ever seen, and they've never included any of that material with any of the other editions.
Well, my master's thesis, or at least the first one, was approaches utilized by tenor saxophonists in the 1950s and 1960s in Latin American and Caribbean influenced jazz.
Wow. So no Ornette Coleman, because I don't think he was very Caribbean. Yeah.
No, well, Sonny was in it.
Hmm.
St. Thomas, that solo
Yeah.
was awesome. And
Is it?
Stan Getz, and also one of the tunes that, what's his name, did, Dexter Gordon did. He did a version of Manja de Carnaval that was stellar. So
I loved X, and I was under the. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just for the drums, but I thought like Latin American traditional music was quite different from the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, I said Latin American and Caribbean influenced jazz.
Oh, okay.
So it's about jazz, but from, like, I consider bossa nova to be that, because bossa nova is really, it's not samba anymore,
Right.
It's,
I remember
kind of its own thing, but it is definitely heavily jazz influenced.
I remember hearing an anecdote from my music teacher. I've never actually looked this up, so it could be totally made up, but Joe Morello, who played drums with Stan Getz, was very well considered drummer, one of the best. And he visited Latin America to check out like the drumming environment down there.
Yeah.
He said they kicked his ass. Like he thought he was on top of his game, and they just
folks,
blew him away.
You get a little taste of Friday nights. Last Friday we didn't do it. It looked a little too tight, so I called it, and said, all right, we'll do it next Friday. This Friday, more Genesis. We're doing Genesis Selling England by the Pound on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, basically between, if Trev's streaming, I don't know, but it would be after him, and it would be 2 hours before B-side, so we'd be done by the time they start.
I thought we were doing Genesis of the Daleks Selling England by the Pound. Wouldn't that be?
Well, they made some money for England.
Yeah, well,
but that might be related. I guess at the time Genesis would have seen that as, I think that was the same year, 75. They would have seen it as like Dalek toy sales as American commercialism invading England. But anyway, so you and I get to talk about it. Archer, you're welcome to come, or anybody to give some British insight on it, because we're going to be talking about a British band and their thoughts on an era where they were describing things as being too commercially influenced by the Americas. And I don't know.
Yeah, that album inspired me to take piano lessons, where I discovered I suck at piano.
Oh, fifth of Firth.
Oh yeah,
Fifth of Firth.
I must
the first of fourth.
That, and I must listen to that song like 1,000 times.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. All right, I think we're going to call it a night, folks. But that's what's coming up. Friday and Sunday of next week are already set. But I also post on the post section of my channel. So if there's something up, I post it there. But I think we'll be good for Friday and Saturday. All righty, folks. Lovely. All right. So we're going to call it a night. Thank you very much, Flav, for your donation to the cause, and thank you, Scott Hovid, for once again holding down the fort as a wonderful moderator.
Eat my shorts.
Yep, that's him. And I thank my guests. Liza, thank you for being there and hanging in with us, even though you don't got your computer. And thanks, Sister Phobos. Great facts tonight. You made the stream. And thank you, Archer, for your facts as well. And
since Scott was kind enough to put up the channel, we've actually got a Monday night stream.
Oh,
tonight my time, actually, tomorrow night. I think Alex wants been talking about World War II movies.
Oh, wait,
okay.
Trev is going to be doing Tuesday Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and only.
That'll be a popular one.
Yeah.
Is he going to get that done within the time frame that he usually likes? Well, I guess so.
He keeps moving whether you're with him or not. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He'll take some of those extended scenes and just make them a couple slides. I think he'll get through it. Yes, but I like that experience. That
Yeah, he times it. He because of his years in radio, like he times it out. He knows it. He has a schedule and he stays to it pretty much. So
I do not.
Well, I like that we can go wild and talk about Dalek pornography here.
And jazz saxophonists of the 50s and 60s.
Well, we all know what Shooty would have done with the Daleks, don't we?
Oh,
Don't say his name.
all right.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. There hasn't been any Doctor Who since Peter Capaldi left anyway. So who cares?
Well, I guess.
Who cares how much RTD ripped off?
Mm. Well, at this point, I guess all we could say is,
And finally, here are some completely gratuitous pictures of penises to annoy the censors and to hopefully spark some sort of controversy, which it seems the only way these days to get the jaded, video-setted public off their fucking asses and back in the sodding cinema.
all right, folks. So good night, one and all. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us. It looks like StreamYard worked out fairly well for this.
Timing.
Timing. And we do have the closing set already.